Have you ever wondered how the Israel-Palestine conflict that we see today began? To understand the roots of this enduring conflict, we need to journey back to the late 19th and early 20th centuries. This was a time when two powerful ideologies were on the rise: Zionism and Arab nationalism. Zionism emerged among Jews in Europe, driven by centuries of persecution and the dream of a homeland where they could live free from fear. At the same time, Arab nationalism was gaining momentum in the Middle East, fueled by a desire for independence from Ottoman rule. As these two movements grew, their paths crossed in a region known as Palestine. Jews viewed this land as their ancestral home, the land of Israel. Arabs, who had been living there for centuries, saw it as part of the Arab world. In 1917, a significant event took place that would shape the course of history in Palestine. The British government issued the Balfour Declaration, expressing support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. This was met with jubilation by Zionists, but sparked fear and anger among Palestinian Arabs. Following World War I, Britain took control of Palestine under a League of Nations mandate. The British Mandate for Palestine, as it was known, was a complex and controversial period. It saw an increase in Jewish immigration, fueling tensions with the Arab population. Despite attempts to reconcile the conflicting national aspirations of Jews and Arabs, the situation escalated into violence. Meanwhile, international sympathy for Jews grew in the wake of the Holocaust in World War II, leading to increased support for the creation of a Jewish state. And so, the stage was set for a conflict that would span over a century. So, how did Israel come into existence amidst all this tension? The story of Israel's creation begins in the aftermath of World War II. The horrors of the Holocaust had led to an increased sympathy for the plight of Jewish people across the world. The British, who had control over Palestine under a League of Nations mandate, found themselves unable to resolve the escalating tensions between Jewish immigrants and the Arab population. In this atmosphere of heightened tension, the United Nations proposed a partition plan in November 1947. This plan sought to divide Palestine into separate Jewish and Arab states, with Jerusalem under international administration. The Jewish Agency accepted the plan, seeing it as a stepping stone towards a Jewish homeland. However, the Arab nations and Palestinian leaders rejected the proposal, viewing it as an imposition on the rights of the majority Arab population in Palestine. Despite the Arab rejection, the plan was adopted by the UN General Assembly. The stage was set for a clash, and it wasn't long in coming. In May 1948, David Ben-Gurion, the head of the Jewish Agency, declared the establishment of the State of Israel. Almost immediately, neighboring Arab states, including Egypt, Syria, Jordan, and Iraq, declared war on the newly formed nation. This 1948 Arab-Israeli War, also known as the War of Independence, resulted in a decisive victory for Israel. However, it also led to a significant displacement of Palestinians, an event known as the Nakba, or catastrophe, by Palestinians. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians fled or were expelled from their homes during the war, their properties and lands seized. The war ended in 1949 with armistice agreements between Israel and its neighboring Arab countries. Israel had not only defended its existence, but also expanded its territory. However, the Palestinian issue remained unresolved, a festering wound at the heart of the Middle East. With the birth of the State of Israel, the conflict was officially ignited. But what role did global powers play in the formation and sustenance of Israel? To answer this question, let's delve into the pages of history. The creation of Israel would not have been possible without the support of Britain. In the early 20th century, Britain issued the Balfour Declaration, which expressed their support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. This support was not without its controversies, but it set the stage for the eventual creation of Israel. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, the United States also played a crucial role in the creation and recognition of Israel. The United States was one of the first countries to recognize the new State of Israel, mere minutes after it declared its independence in 1948. This swift recognition wasn't just a diplomatic gesture, but a reflection of America's commitment to Israel's creation and survival. But why has America continuously supported Israel? The reasons are manifold. Strategically, Israel was seen as a reliable ally in the Middle East, a region of significant geopolitical interest to the United States. Economically, the American-Israeli relationship has been mutually beneficial, with both nations benefiting from robust trade and technological cooperation. The support also has strong ideological and emotional roots. The horrors of the Holocaust galvanized a sense of moral duty among many Americans to support a safe haven for the Jewish people. Furthermore, the strong influence of the Christian evangelical community, which views the creation of Israel as a biblical prophecy, cannot be overlooked. Yet this unwavering support for Israel has also been a source of controversy, with critics arguing that it has contributed to the prolongation of the Israel-Palestine conflict. They argue that America's one-sided support for Israel has hindered the prospects for a fair and just resolution to the conflict. International politics played and continues to play a significant role in the Israel-Palestine conflict. The influence of global powers, particularly Britain and America, has shaped the course of this intricate and long-standing dispute. As we delve deeper into this narrative, it becomes clear that understanding the Israel-Palestine conflict requires not just a study of the region itself, but also the global forces that have shaped its destiny. But who were the key figures in this conflict, and what wars have been fought over it? Let's delve into the heart of the matter. The Israel-Palestine conflict has been marked by several wars, each leaving a significant impact on the region's history and future. The Six-Day War of 1967 was a critical turning point. Over a span of a mere 6 days, Israel emerged victorious against Egypt, Jordan, and Syria, significantly expanding its territory. This rapid victory left a lasting impression on the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East. Then came the Yom Kippur War of 1973, initiated by Egypt and Syria against Israel on Yom Kippur, the holiest day in Judaism. The war ended with a ceasefire, but not before it had led to significant losses on both sides and heightened tensions in the region. Now let's turn our attention to the key figures who shaped this conflict. One name that stands out is Yasser Arafat, the chairman of the Palestinian Liberation Organization. Arafat played a pivotal role in voicing the plight of Palestinians on the international stage. He was a symbol of resistance and a beacon of hope for many Palestinians. On the Israeli side, figures like David Ben-Gurion, Israel's first prime minister, and Golda Meir, the country's first woman prime minister, played crucial roles in shaping the state's policies and standing in the conflict. The United Nations has also played a significant role in this conflict. Its resolution in 1947 proposed the partition of Palestine into Jewish and Arab states, sparking the First Arab-Israeli War. Since then, the UN has been actively involved in peacekeeping efforts and mediation between the two parties. These wars and figures have forever shaped the landscape of the Israel-Palestine conflict. But what about the organizations that have become synonymous with the conflict? Let's dive into the roles of Hamas, Hezbollah, and Fatah in the Israel-Palestine dispute. Hamas, established in 1987, is a Palestinian Sunni Islamic fundamentalist organization. It has a political and a military wing, and it's known for its resistance against Israeli occupation, often employing violent means. Hezbollah, on the other hand, is a Shia Islamist political party and militant group based in Lebanon. Founded in 1982, it's primarily funded by Iran and has been involved in several conflicts, including those against Israel. Lastly, Fatah is a major Palestinian political party. It was founded in the late 50s by Yasser Arafat and others with the aim to liberate Palestine through armed struggle. However, over time it has recognized Israel and sought a two-state solution. These organizations, each with their unique ideologies and methods, have had a significant role in shaping the conflict. Whether through political maneuvering or armed resistance, they've continually influenced the course of the Israel-Palestine dispute. These organizations have had a major impact on the evolution of the conflict. So, where does the conflict stand today, and what does the future hold? Recent events have been marked by a surge in violence and tension. The conflict between Israel and Hamas in 2021 saw a distressing escalation in hostilities. The issues of Palestinian statehood continue to be a contentious point, with no clear path to resolution. The current Israeli government, arguably the most right-wing in history, has controversial figures calling for changes to the status quo of Jerusalem's holy sites. This has raised concerns across the border in Jordan, a country that has been the custodian of these sites since 1924. On the Palestinian side, the potential return to power of Benjamin Netanyahu, a figure long opposed to the establishment of a Palestinian state, has fueled fears of more violence and conflict. The challenge lies in navigating these complex dynamics. The road ahead is fraught with uncertainty, and the future of the Palestinians remains a key determinant of Israel's integration into the region. In this volatile landscape, it's crucial to remember that the path to peace often lies in acknowledging historical complexities, seeking mutual understanding, and working towards equitable solutions. The Israel-Palestine conflict is far from resolution, with its future dependent on several unpredictable factors.